All right, let's get to this one. Consternation, Crystal. Let's put this up there on the screen. I guess there's a lot to say about it. So James Esses, who is, what is he? I would call him like somebody who tweets a lot about trans issues, but let's put it kindly.
All right, I don't know who this individual is.
He runs one of these organizations. All right, well.
Okay, gotcha.
He says, quote, yesterday, after posting a tweet saying that I reject the word cis and don't wish to be called it, I received a slew of messages from trans activists who called me a sissy with a C, telling me I am cis, whether I like it or not. Just imagine if the roles were reversed. Elon replied and said, quote, repeated and targeted harassment against any account will cause the harassing accounts to receive at a minimum of temporary suspensions. The words cis or cisgender are now considered slurs on the platform. So I guess there's actually a lot to say about this at the very least.
Okay.
Number one is, this is bad because the previous policy that existed over at Twitter, of which I opposed, I thought was very stupid, was that you were liable to be banned if you were to, quote unquote, dead name somebody, AKA use their previous name pre-transition. You know, I think it's mean, but I also don't think you should be banned for doing so. Same in terms of using the wrong gender pronoun, like currently the Daily Wire is having a big host of problems. A lot of their videos have been taken off of YouTube because they've been using different pronouns and the preferred pronouns of some of the people that they're talking about. Again, you know, you can think it's unkind. I wouldn't do that in a personal situation. That said, you know, they're taking a broader stance, whatever. I think that's right for you as an American citizen. But then you shouldn't be turning around and applying the same policy, because the problem that can we throw that up there back, please, up on the screen? I want to read again the exact quote that he said. He specifically said repeated targeted harassment. And you know why the hair on the back of my neck goes up from that? That is the same exact policy that was used from some of the trans activists to get their opponents banned. And it comes down to the question of, like, what does that mean? You tweet cis 3 times? Is that enough to get banned?
Right.
Like, what is it? I mean, the trans people who are calling the guy a sissy, I mean, again, I think it's probably mean. I don't really know why anybody would do that, but a lot of people are mean. It's the internet, you know, deal with it.
And it's really not that mean. Like,
it's fine.
Like, are your feelings really going to be that hurt by it?
No, I don't think so. I also don't think that somebody who's been quote unquote dead named is like the worst thing that's ever happened to them in their life. I'm like, yeah, shut up, you know, deal with it. You're the one putting yourself out there for attention on the internet, and then you're upset that somebody is responding and being unkind. We get a lot of unkind comments about here. About my beard, about the hair, about...
I have a list of people I'd like to be banned.
Yeah, exactly. I have a whole list. Listen, come to me, Elon. I can give you a list. But I would never do it. Even the worst critics, I'd be like, you know what, man? It's a free country.
Go ahead.
Say what you want.
Say your piece.
We put our words out there. Other people can put theirs. So I think it's very much the wrong policy. And unfortunately, it just really is the ad hoc nature of which he is going about it at his own whims, which is just... Look, you can think it's funny, I certainly do, but that does not mean that it is the right thing. And in fact, whenever you do kind of, you know, smile and you think, they're getting a taste of their own medicine, that's exactly what you want to be able to prevent, because that is the same way that the previous people who used to run Twitter used to act whenever they got their ideological opponents banned. So no matter who it is, I will speak out for them.
Yeah, if you are truly this free speech warrior, which we already have like 100 examples where he's fallen short of that stated goal, but that's really your thing. It matters the most when it's like politically inconvenient for whatever your views are. So even if this is just mostly a troll, the fact that he just erratically makes these decisions and they go very much contrary to that stated free speech commitment, it's just very revealing. And everybody needs to stop being so freaking fragile. Listen, if your feelings are really going to be so hurt by, you know, whatever name you're called online, don't read it. Or don't go on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
both of us don't tweet that much.
What do you
for
think
this reason.
Twitter is? Right. I mean, there's a reason I don't read my replies and I'm barely on Twitter, because I don't enjoy it. Right? People are mean to each other, and it's not really a nice place to hang out and live.
Yes.
And as we just discussed with the previous segment, I think there's a lot of clear evidence that none of this is really good for any of our mental health. So if your feelings are getting hurt online, you owe it to yourself to take a step back, go touch some grass, and let it be. You know, if you don't see it, it's not gonna hurt your feelings.
I agree, and unfortunately, that's, you know, people seem to live their entire lives, and they make so. And this is really a both sides thing, and I actually find it the most in the trans issue. The amount of people I know who live their entire lives about what's happening online with respect to this discourse is insane to me. I don't understand, and I've even said this, I said in my previous monologue, transgender ideology drives me nuts. I find it abhorrent. I personally see it as a threat to a lot of children. I do not, though, live my entire life or spend all of my public platform time talking, drawing attention to it and acting as if the most important thing in the country for a couple of reasons. A, because I don't think so. And B, also, we have a responsibility to our audience to meet them where they are. And what we have found predominantly, Crystal, is that there is a massive proliferation.
Yeah.
How many YouTube videos and creators and people out there have built entire brands and spent hours, analyzing the term cisgender, transgender, whatever queer, whatever drag show is happening, and then didn't talk about what we just did with test scores. We just spent some time on that, or Samuel Alito and corruption, or China and the Cuba base. We have found and understood that for the vast majority of people, they want to hear more about much more important issues. Sure, we could talk about trans, of which we're doing some stuff here, but that's not all they want to hear about.
Yeah.
That's where I object to a lot of the discourse around this.
I have felt it important in the current climate where there's a lot of legislation being passed. An Arkansas law just got struck down by a court there to stand up for trans people's rights to just live and make their own decisions. And I think that is really critical. But I also think, you're not really doing a lot of that when you're just engaging in this very insular, discourse on Twitter that's just about getting retweets and being mean to each other. And there's no attempt at a good faith debate that's going on here with any of this. But, with back to Elon, it's just another example of the whole free speech idea. And let's take Elon out of it. Any billionaire is not going to solve your free speech issues. They're just not going to, even if they're well-intentioned, even if they have the right commitments. That was another thing Dorsey really pointed out, is the level of pressure that you're under from advertisers in particular, when the overwhelming bulk of your revenue is still driven by ad dollars, when you have countries that are coming to you and pressuring you and we're going to shut your whole thing down if you don't do what we want you to do. You can't just leave it to the whims of any one person, whether you like them or hate them or think they're good or bad or indifferent. It is not going to work out.
I'm with you 100%.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.